is now with the UP Resilience Institute under the Office of the President, is that the human resources have remained intact and that we have institutional memory. We have the facilities, we have the capability, we have the experience. Now, all we need to do is to scale things up by hiring more people to do the things that we have been doing. And the good thing about that is that it's locally done. It is at par with international standards because we publish papers on what we do. We know that it's up to par with international standards. In fact, at this scale, it's even more than what other countries do. We are actually doing this for other countries. We have been helping Fiji. We have been helping Vanuatu. There are some other islands in the Pacific who have explored if we can help them or not. So if we can do that in helping other countries, why can't we help our country? And we want to focus doing what we have been doing to help Filipinos. We have to scale up the work, buy more computers, buy more space, or get more space to get all of these volunteers. Actually, they're not volunteers. They're going to be paid anyway because of the budget, and scale up the operations so that we can do it as quickly as we can. And of course, because it's UP has this very strict accounting procedure. UP is known for that we have been doing these things, managing resources coming from government for the longest time. And it will go through that process so that there will be full accountability. Again, we have to scale up the operations to meet the timelines that are needed.
And that's good to know that project or the projects is not locally focused, but also in international. You mentioned about we are helping countries or Pacific nation like Vanuatu in dealing with their problems in flooding. Is that right, Dr. Lagmay?
Well, it's part of our project that we're doing with the UN International Office of Migration. We've been doing that for, I think, more than a year already. It has grown, the efforts, because of the work that's been seen by the international community. Some people have asked whether it can be done also in their place. Of course, they were part of the collaborative work. And now we're getting some of the lessons that we learned in the Philippines, the technologies that we have adopted, discovered here in the Philippines, being applied now in other countries.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm down to my few questions, but I will go back to the DPWH thing, Dr. Lagmay, because this project will be used when DPWH build their infrastructure project. So, when Project NOAA will be used in building infrastructure or flood infrastructure projects, so do you think it will be influential? The recommendation of Project NOAA will be influential when it comes to building flood control projects, since so because this thing has been political for quite some time now, Dr. Lagmay.
Well, when disasters happen, it affects everybody. It affects communities. It affects all Filipinos. It affects the development of the country. Disaster work should not have any color. And we help everybody when we do our work. It's intended not for any political group. It's for all Filipinos.
That's good, and uh, we will have to watch out for this because this country is consistently being ranked as one of the hardest hit country when it comes to natural calamities, Dr. Lagmay, and this project NOAA will be helpful for our lawmakers and even policymakers to change their plans or when it comes to addressing climate change and other natural calamities.
That's true. We have been ranked as number one in the World Risk Index
Mm.
for the fourth consecutive year. We are at the top of the world in terms of risk from disasters and the adverse impacts of climate change. We really need this kind of group. We actually have to have a whole of society approach. The academe is part of it, and the academe has this big effort to help the country with respect to the disaster risk reduction efforts. And hopefully, with this 1 billion budget, it can be a model for the country to be able to work with SUCs who can work in turn with the local communities, the local LGUs, because all of these state universities and colleges, the higher education institutions have a lot of experts. These experts do research on different topics related to resilience. And those research outputs need to be mainstreamed into the local government plans to be able
Right.
to address disasters, to be able to address climate change impacts. And when we do land use development or doing plans for every LGU, for every community, we have a better chance of doing things right because it is science-based. So what we want to do is to start it off with doing what Project NOAA and the UP Resilience Institute has been doing for the past 8 years. Or if it started in 2012, then the past 13 years, be able to cascade it to all state universities and colleges, be able to capacitate and co-create knowledge so that each and every institution in those communities all over the Philippines will be able to have more science research outputs included and mainstream into the local government plans. That way, we will be able to address in the best manner possible, a more scientific way to do it, to do things. And if we do that, there will be more growth because it's unhampered by disasters. And when there's more economic growth, there's more development, there will be more employment because there will be more investments. There's a good plan to be able to address the sustainable development goals.
All right, that's very well said, Dr. Lagmay. Okay, but before I let you go, okay, I wonder if Project NOAA will be rolled out in mobile applications. So that people can track of areas if the area is flooded or if the area is prone to flooding or landslide.
Yeah, the NOAA is available sa Android, sa iPhone. Pwede niyong i-download sila. It's for free because we believe in open data. Pwede niyo din i-download yung mga datasets. It's all free because, again, we believe in open data and that is the way we can work with the entire community, all stakeholders in a whole of society and science-based approach. Download niyo po and then cascade it, talk about it with your family, with your friends, with people in your community because all of these are available. And it will be definitely upgraded if we get that potential 1 billion pesos approved in the GAA or the General Appropriations Act.
Okay, sounds good, and we will be downloading that application, and we will use it to monitor and at the same time make decisions on areas that we are going to look out for if it's flood prone areas or landslide prone areas. So it will be a great help for people to download the Project NOAA application and check their websites too on Project NOAA. And with that, thank you so much, Dr. Mahar Lagmay, the Executive Director of Project NOAA.
Maraming salamat din po. Thank you.
All right. And that was Dr. Mahar Lagmay, the Executive Director of Project NOAA. And at the same time, he's a professor at the University of the Philippines Resilience Institute and professor at the UP National Institute of Geological Sciences. And Front and Center will be right back after these short messages.
Paano nga ba mag-register para magkaroon ng schedule sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center? Narito ang mga dapat gawin. Gamit ang iyong mobile device, pumunta sa eGovPH app. Pwede itong i-download mula sa Apple App Store o sa Google Play Store. Gumawa ng account. Ilagay ang email address, valid mobile number, pagkatapos ay makakatanggap ka ng one-time code sa iyong email. Gamitin ang code sa eGov app para sa verification ng iyong account at ng mga impormasyong ibinigay. Congratulations! Meron ka ng eGovPH app account. Pwede mo na ma-access ang iba't ibang serbisyo ng gobyerno kabilang ang mga serbisyo sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo, and we're down to a few minutes of our broadcast. But in the meantime, we will play a very short clip about what happened in the bicameral conference committee, where Representatives Mika Suwansing and Javi Benitez, together with some senators, discuss about the budget process or the proposed budget for Project NOAA, or Nationwide Operational Assessment of Hazards. Let's listen in.
Quick pass on all the SUCs. First would be the University of the Philippines system. We propose to add an additional 1 billion pesos for Project NOAA. For Project NOAA, while the funding is lodged within the UP system, we actually increased the funding for Project NOAA for the benefit of the whole country and all the agencies, primarily the DPWH. Ang hinihingi po natin sa Project NOAA, kapag binigay na po natin yung pondo na to, is for them to work more closely with the DPWH in terms of refining the way that flood control projects are designed and monitored. Ang pangako po ng Project NOAA sa atin, alam ko po binanggit din po nila sa hearing nila sa Senado, ay kapag nabigyan po sila ng sapat na pondo, they can actually help DPWH design the flood control project. So, hindi na po magkakaroon ng pagkakataon na makakapaglagay po ng flood control project sa lugar na hindi naman talaga kailangang lagyan. They will be able to simulate a particular area and pinpoint exactly up to the coordinates level where a flood control structure should be placed. Aside from that po, they will be able to simulate the height that is required to actually mitigate the flooding in that area. So yun po yung pinakahinihingi natin sa Project NOAA, na sana po sa pamamagitan ng 1 bilyong piso na ating pong ibibigay sa kanila sa susunod na taon po, sa taong 2027, mas maganda na po yung pagdisenyo ng mga flood control at flood mitigation systems. Yes,
Madam Chair, may I intervene? What the good chairwoman is mentioning is actually under the UP Resilience Institute, yes. And this was actually initiated way back in 2012, and we're only funding it in 2025. But during the time of Congressman Salceda, he and I had a budgetary amendment, not insertion, for the building of the UPRI. I'm not certain if it's up already, but it was 3 presidents ago that the UPRI in 2012, the president who became DTI secretary, Pascual. Yes, Fred and I were discussing this in 2012, the creation of the UP Institute, Resilience Institute. So thank you for mentioning Project NOAA of Mahar Lagmay, who was with DOST before. And I'm just putting a historical perspective because people might say, grabe, laki, 1 billion. Ano po, 13 years po nag-antay. And when this was conceptualized in 2012, I think I was defending their budget then, it was a very small amount during the time of President Pascual. So we support that, Mr. Chair. We upheld it in the Senate. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Lauren. Yes, Representative Habi Benitez.
May I add to that manifestation? But before I begin with my manifestation, I'd like to say that as a first-timer bicameral committee member, I'm honored and grateful and the only neophyte on this contingent. I expect to listen intently, work collaboratively, and to pass a fair and impactful budget for the Filipino people. What I do want to share that it was House Bill number 2577 that I filed in Congress for the 20th Congress, supporting the National Resilience Institute to make it a national, the UP Resilience Institute in the UP system to become a National Resilience Institute. And I do want to share and to add that the UP RI, which was powered by Project NOAA, has made accurate and real-time, high-quality hazard maps. No, and it has been used by a lot of local government units. And ever since nangyayari po sa atin yung mga climate disasters po sa atin, there's been, since it was updated in 2023, the website has had 35 million searches online. And during peak times, 2.6 million searches a day. Now, so it's very important that we can identify for flood mitigation efforts. And so, albeit this is seemingly large, 1 billion, but they need to update the hazard maps for the entire country, and last that has been updated was 2012. So I commend the Chair, Chair Mika, and of course Barcy as well as the Senate for putting the 1 billion to Project NOAA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to marry the manifestation of Senator Legarda and Representative Benitez, actually, yung point po ni Senator Lauren, tama po yun. Kasi in the last few years, I think, bumaba po sila from having over 500 billion in allocations down to only 36 million a year. So, and despite the huge budget cut, they were still able to create all of these accurate hazard maps, which a lot of our kababayans really rely on, especially in times of flooding and rains. Ang maganda po dito, pagdating po sa Project NOAA, they're able to pinpoint exactly what color each zone is in terms of flooding hazard. So there's red zone, orange, and yellow. So ang pinag-uusapan po sa DPWH ay pwede pong pagbasihan yung hazard maps ng Project NOAA para po malaman kung saan lang pwede maglagay ng flood control structures sa mga susunod na taon.
And you just heard the voices of Representatives Mika Swansing, which she chairs the House Appropriation Committee, and also Representative Javi Benitez, and you just heard Senator Lauren Legarda as they presided the bicameral conference committee as they discussed the Project NOAA budget. And with that, we now conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service, together with our technical team headed by Ms. Susan Aizon. Also on our Wirecast, we have Hiro Lucero. Also on our audio streaming, we have Justine Osias. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.